What's up everyone, this is Handguard from Fear Productions. Today I'm going to be doing a video showing how to remove the A2 front sight and block off of a AR-15. This AR-15 in particular is the M&P 15 Sport 2 model, I believe is what it is. The model that just comes with the standard circular handguards, the A2 grip and a car stock, but it does come with the Magpul Embus flip up rear sight. So if it doesn't take me too long to get this off here, I'm going to also include in the video the quick installation of the free float handguard, which is the reason why I'm taking the A2 front sight off, and also the installation of the low profile gas block, which hopefully, this is not my rifle, this is a buddy of mine's rifle, and he requested that I install the handguard for him, or the free flow handguard for him. I'm hoping I had him buy the correct diameter gas block. I'm looking at it here, it's a standard .750 diameter gas block, but this looks like it's a bull barrel, or a heavy barrel. AR. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get the front sight block off here. First thing I'm going to do, obviously, is get the AR taken apart here. As you can see, chamber is clear, the bolt is locked to the rear, but in order to take it apart, I'm going to have to release the bolt. So that's good. If you hear rustling in the background, that is my dog. She's out in the grass rolling around. Also, I would apologize if you hear motorcycles, trucks, or anything. There's a gas station about 50 yards that direction, so I apologize if you hear that. So I'm going to go ahead and get the lower off here and the bolt and everything out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've repositioned the camera. I've removed the lower receiver and the charging handle and the bolt carrier group. One thing I'm going to suggest, if you do any type of maintenance on an AR, building ARs, get one of these if you're serious about it. This is a Wheeler AR bench block. They're kind of pricey, but it's completely worth it. In this case, this one tells you if you're going to install an A2 front side post, how to orient it. If you're going to do work on the charging handle, it's got holes for that. For the upper receiver, you flip it around here. Holes for the lower receiver if you're putting things in the lower receiver and doing a lower assembly. It's just really cool to have around. I really recommend these. They're really neat. When I used to do my old builds, and I was taking these things off before I was smart enough to buy one of these, I was trying to take these A2 front sights off, and I had, you know, planks of wood and anything I could find to try and balance this out, and it was just a mess. But with these, they nicely sit in there. There's a hole that accommodates both gas block pins and the gas tube pin. So we're going to sit those in there like so. And let me find the proper pins here that I need, or the, let's see, tools scattered everywhere here. Sorry if you hear that motorcycle in the background there. It's a little too small. Still a little too small. This one should be good. Alright, so what I'm going to do, so you don't see the camera shaking around and it have the opportunity to fall off my tripod here, because I'm recording with an iPad, so the iPad will outweigh the tripod when I start banging the hammer on this thing. I'm going to go ahead, and what you're going to do is push out these two pins, and then there's a smaller roll pin here for the gas block, or the gas tube, I'm sorry. that little guy is a pain to get out, but this bench block makes it a lot easier. If you don't have this bench block and you're trying to take one of these sight posts out, or these front sights out, just keep in mind when you're looking at this front sight, you'll look at each side of them here. One of the sides of the push pins, if you look, are larger than the other. It's a good indication of what side you don't want to punch out. In this case, if you're looking at it as you would be aiming down the sight, you're going to be punching out the left-hand side. So I'm going to get to work here. Some of these I've done come out really, really easy. You know, just a couple flaps and the pins fall right out. Some of them require some convincing. So okay, I'm back. So let me see if I can get the color better. I remembered something, and I don't know if this is true for all Smith & Wesson AR-15s, because I know it's not true for all AR-15s. So this bench block has you removing the pins on this side, which is the, let's see, the left side. And I know I've used this bench block to remove pins before, but I remembered, because my main AR is a Smith & Wesson MP15. I remember when I removed the A2 front sight post off mine, the pins were reversed. So I had to remove them from right to left instead of left to right. I got to pounding on this one and I realized 15 minutes went by and I wasn't making any progress. I looked at the pins again and realized they need to be removed right to left instead of left to right. So when I switched them, they came out in about a minute and a half. So keep that in mind. Again, I believe most standard AR-15s, the front sight post is left to right, as this bench block states. So I have all three pins out. I'm going to go ahead, and I should have done this already, but it just takes a few seconds. I'm going to take this over to the vise, put it on the vise really quick. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my upper receiver clamp here, if I can get it oriented correctly. I'm going to go ahead and put it over there, clamp it, use my AR-15 armorer's wrench, and go ahead and just unscrew the A2 bird cage here, take it off, and then I'll come back and take off the A2 front sight post. Okay, I got the bird cage off. Came off very simple, very easy. So the next step is actually taking this off the barrel. You'll find that some of these are kind of hard to remove, and a lot of the times that's because the carbon buildup, remember this also acts as the gas block as well, so you're going to get carbon fouling and buildup underneath here. This one kind of has some resistance. If you need to, take a rubber mallet and just, give it a couple whacks there to loosen it. Just not very hard. You don't want to damage anything, and then basically just keep working at it. Slowly coming along. Alright guys, well, I'm going to tell you one thing. This has been one for my history books, that's for sure. This has been one that's put up a fight. However, as you can see, it is now removed. It was just getting hung up on the pin cuts in the barrel. not uncommon, so not a big deal. But we got that off there. So that's basically removing it. Total time, had I not got hung up on the pins and remembered it needed to be punched out the other way, probably about 20 minutes, 20 or so minutes. It took me a little bit of time to sneak that by the taps for the pinholes there, but I'd say about 20 minutes realistically. Some of them will give you a little bit more trouble, some of them won't. But you know, you just have to work at it. The more you do it, the more you'll get used to it, and that's what you're going to need to do if you either want to replace your barrel, you know, you're getting a new barrel. But I'm going to get the barrel cleaned up here. I'm going to get the barrel nut off, and I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the installation of the handguard. I'm going to go ahead and record it. I'll put it at the end of the video if anybody wants to see it. If you want to, go ahead, and if you just wanted to see the front sight removal, thank you for watching. Appreciate the support, and please stay tuned for more. We're going to have more videos, both paintball and firearms related, here in the future. If you want to continue to watch, thank you, and I'll put both titles in the video, obviously, and timestamps if people want to see both or just one or the other. So thank you, and we're going to go ahead and proceed with the free float handguard installation. All right, for those of you who have stayed, thank you. We're going to proceed with the free float handguard installation on this AR-15. I'm going to first start with taking off the Delta Ring barrel nut assembly that is stock with this rifle. I'm going to use my armorer's wrench for that. These things are invaluable. Don't buy one from Wish. I will tell you that right now. They will break. So I will also say that these, when these come from the factory, they are incredibly tight. Let's see, loose. So I usually have to get them locked in and get a hammer. Sometimes the rubber mallet works, sometimes it doesn't. So let's see what happens. You want to make sure if you got this viced, that the vise is nice and tight. It's locked in there. Things are going to start flying everywhere now. Bear with me. There we go. So, loud noises aside, once that breaks free there, most of the loud noises there were just because how this table is designed. So go ahead and take off the Delta Ring barrel nut assembly. Comes right off. There it is. Keep it, throw it away, whatever you want to do. And we are left with our barrel. What I like to do at this point is, here we have some anti-seize. Let's see if I can get some of the glare out of here. Sorry about that. I have the door open because it's about 80 degrees in my workshop here, and I forgot my fan. It's in. We've been using it inside. Wipe off any sediment. This rifle's actually pretty clean. I don't think he shot it very much. I can't remember. Looks like it's just mainly oil. Go ahead and wipe off any oil or anything that's on the end of the barrel there. Set it down, and I like to put a little bit of anti-seize. You don't need to do a lot. Sorry, my dog's out there going nuts because the neighbor's dog just came outside. Might have to go get her here in just a second. And this is just to help prevent sticking and stuff like that. Should you take stuff apart again, don't want that carbon to get in there, carbon buildup. I'm going to put the barrel on here. I'm going to run out and get my dog. I will be right back. So the barrel, go ahead and clean the inside of the upper right there really quick. Slide the barrel right in, and I will be right back. Okay, got my dog in here with me now. She's probably going to run out in just a minute, but that's okay. So all the neighbors' dogs are out right now, and there she goes. So, dogs will be dogs. I'm going to go ahead and apply some anti-seize to the threads of the upper receiver and the threads where the muzzle brake is going to be, or the muzzle device rather, because we're going to be installing the A2 bird cage back on here because he hasn't got another one yet, an upgraded one. And it doesn't take a lot, just as you see, I've had this for probably 3 or 4 years, and I've barely touched it, and I've used it quite extensively. A little bit goes a long way. Got a little bit of extra there on. Make sure it's just the anti-seize you're putting on there, nothing else. Sorry about that. My computer's also making noise. Alright, with all that done, give me just a moment. Okay guys, I got the threads and the barrel and all done up with anti-seize. The next part of this would be putting the gas block together. So you got to get the gas block and the gas tube. This particular one is very random. He got a Radical Firearms gas block. I just tested it out. It does fit over the barrel, so that's good. However, this one didn't come with the pin that goes in the gas tube when you stick the gas tube in, like such. A little pin right there. But if you didn't destroy the pin and as you were taking it out of the front sight gas block, the A2 front sight, we're good to go. Which in this case we would still been good to go. I have a couple extra, but try to pay attention when you're buying these. Now, I've bought a lot of stuff from Radical Firearms. I like the company. I've used a lot of their parts before. I've actually bought several of the gas blocks before, and they usually come with them. I'm surprised this one didn't, unless when I popped it open here it fell somewhere. That might be it right there. Nope, it's not. This one must have just not come with one, so pay attention if you're buying one of these gas blocks. This is also a set screw style gas block. So once you get everything put together and it's indexed the way you think it should be, make sure it's indexed properly. Don't just screw these in and expect them to be okay. Always put Loctite on them. And what I always do is when I put the gas block in, I tighten it down to where it should be. I take one out, put Loctite in it, screw it back in, take the other one out, put Loctite on it, put the other one in, so it stays in place and everything's good to go. So this is fun, putting the pin back in here. Even with the handy, move everything out of the way here. Even with this Wheeler block, it doesn't account for you only putting in the pin in a low profile gas block. It expects you to be putting in the pin back in one of these. So this pin can be put back in either way, right or left, doesn't matter. So to save you the effort, or save you the headache of watching me try and fumble around putting this thing in, you almost need 3 hands doing this. I know you can't see what I'm doing here. I'm not really doing much of anything, but you got to try and hold it in a way, because this is round, obviously, and you're putting it on a flat surface. So you got to try and hold it in a way where the hole lines up. You're holding the pin. Now I do have these starter punches, which I will be using. If you don't have one, they're like $6 on Amazon. Get you a set. I will be using that, and hopefully with all that combined, we'll get this thing put together. So give me a minute here, and I'll tell you how long it takes me to do. Oh, before I begin, one other quick thing to note. When you're putting this gas tube in the gas block, be it this gas block, any other low profile gas block, or if you're reinstalling an A2 front sight post, the gas block needs to be in an upward cant. I don't know if you can tell it from there, but it goes up. If you try to install it like this, the rifle's not going to work. It'll probably cycle one time and then that's it. Reason for that is that little hole right there is where the gas goes down in. If that's facing up, it's not going to go anywhere. So it needs to be facing down so it goes where it's supposed to go. So definitely keep that in mind when you're putting these together. I don't know if you can tell, it angles up. As long as it's angling up, that means the hole is facing down into the low profile gas block or whatever gas block you're installing it into. Okay, I'm back. That actually took about a minute. I found something out here. Even though this little portion here on the bench block is for the upper receiver, this actually grooves kind of nicely down into it, and with it like that, I was easily able to take the starter roll pin punch and one little tap got it started. If you don't have one of these here, a little mini hammer with a ball peen, or it's a ball peen hammer. If you don't have one of these, I pick one up at Harbor Freight, or you can get them at any hardware store, I imagine. Get one. These actually work really, really well when you're working on upper and lower receivers on ARs. But anyway, it went right in after that. So we're doing good. We're going to install the barrel nut first. And this is the type of barrel nut, and of course it's got the tightening sections, and it has the index section for the one single screw on the handguard itself. So we're going to put it on here, put it on backwards, don't do that. We're going to just hand tighten it for now. That's good. And what I want to do before I put the low profile gas block on is get the handguard. I just want to give it a little test fit. Put it on here. Now it's not going to go on all the way because I have that this upper block on for the vise, but that's a good looking handguard. It's a really good looking handguard. Okay, so next step is the gas block. Let's take the gas block and we're just going to slide it in, and it's going to index with the hole there on the upper receiver. Now everything's lined up the way it should be. Yeah, and we should be good. I like to, at this point you're going to have to eyeball it to your best. So you want to make sure everything is straight, and then I'm going to tighten it down. That's the wrong Allen key. Got everything spread out. I'm usually more organized than this. Tighten it down just barely. You don't want to tighten it down too much just yet. This is if you're using one of these set screw gas blocks. And I've used a lot of these before. I actually prefer these, but there are other types. Just tighten it down just barely. We're going to get the charging handle and the bolt carrier group. I got the vise too tight. Or I was just trying to do everything upside down. Okay. Let me take it out of the block here for a second. Everything seems to lock in. the big thing you're wanting to pay attention to here is, one, your gas key is going in to the gas tube properly, and your charging handle is fitting over the gas tube without issue. And in this case, it is no problems. I feel no resistance at all. So we're going to take those out and get everything set back up here. Close the dust cover there. All right. And lock it down. Okay, guys. So, as I was stating before, I'm going to leave the back screw tightened. I'm going to unscrew the front with it still on Allen wrench. Use blue Loctite, okay? Use red Loctite, and you ever need to take this thing off, you're going to be blue Loctite. Wait, that's red, see? That's another thing, they need to really change the logos on there. I almost screwed up myself. There we go. Blue, 242. Red is 271. Make sure the threads are clean on these, free of debris. And you don't need a lot. You don't want to oversaturate. Because you oversaturate, and you're going to be in the same boat as the red. Looks straight. So just give it one little slight tug. You know, just get it good, and that should be your gas block and gas tube installation. Now, okay, so I kind of messed up here, but it's okay. So technically, I don't even know if it fits this one. It does. I have this little wrench here from another handguard that I had purchased. I don't even know if it'll fit over with this gas block. It might. Let me take it off here first. Technically, if you have one of these, this is a 1/2-inch drive torque wrench. You want to set it, I think it's to 30 foot-pounds, and tighten these things down. If this doesn't work, we're just going to have to crank it down to as good as we're going to get it. Yeah, I don't want to damage the gas tube. Anyway, so we're going to just get a standard wrench. Let's see, I'm trying to find one of these that'll actually fit in between these grooves. Looks like this guy will. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Okay, so we're just going to give it a good crank down, because we don't have to index this particular barrel block or barrel nut. We do not have to index. All right, so that is good and tight. So let me get situated here and we'll be right back. So next part is going to be your handguard itself. Now this particular handguard, it comes with the two, I don't know if you can see that due to the light. This is the indexing screw, and the tightening screws go right here. This indexing screw did not come out. It stayed in this handguard. The two tightening screws did come out, so we're going to Loctite those when we go to put the handguard on. So we're going to need to take this out of the vise for this temporarily. So we have everything together here, and we're just going to go ahead and slide the handguard over. There we go. Boy, that fits tight. Look. So it gives you a nice monolithic rail across the top, and man, is that perfect. Gosh, those indexing marks are amazing. I might have to pick up a handguard like this for myself. So, with the handguard locked in, I mean, this thing is not going anywhere as is, but we're going to go ahead and screw down the indexing screw here. And what that's going to do is screw down into that little track that was in the barrel nut. And for this, we want to stop as soon as we feel heavy resistance, because, sorry, size 13 has hit the tripod there. So, because that's not actually being screwed down into anything, it's just resting in a track. Man, that's nice. Kind of jealous. And I'm going to just set it down here for the moment. We have the two tightening screws for the bottom. We're just going to put the a thin bit of blue Loctite on each of them. One. Looks like I need to buy some more blue Loctite next time I am at the store. Tightening screws right there, and we're just going to tighten them in. Okay, so those are good. We have the handguard installed. Beautiful handguard. It is indexed properly. So what we're going to do next, now I don't know if I can put this back in the bench block with this handguard on it. I'm going to try. No, it will not fit. I'm going to do this. Put those up here and just ever so slightly do that, because all I need to do at this point, I need to reinstall the A2 birdcage flash hider and the crush washer, which is simply just screwing it in, and it goes in much easier now that the threads have the anti-seize on them. And we'll get our armorer's wrench and tighten it down to where it is indexed properly with the vents on top. Someone is beeping their horn out there continuously. That looks good. Now, the only other thing to do for this build, I apologize for the horn beeping out there, I don't know what that's about. Is to install the matching embus front sight, which, as we all know, is a quite simple affair. But we're just going to go ahead and slide it on front. Man, I tell you what, everything on this rifle is tightly fit, which is good. That's a good thing. And nothing is gonna be rattling around or anything like that. That's what you want. Gotta meet up with that first rail section just like that. Alright guys, I'm going to get this rifle put together and then we'll take a look at it. Alright guys, that is the complete installation of the free float handguard, gas tube, low profile gas block. If you stuck around the whole video, thank you, appreciate it. If you only watched this portion of it because that's all you needed, thank you as well. This particular handguard, I can't remember what the brand is. I'll put it in the description below. I actually like it a lot, and I'm thinking about picking one up myself. Tight, like I said, fits very tight. It is indexed 100% properly, at least so far as my eyes can tell. But beautiful handguard, great looking rifle. This is my buddy's first AR, and he's just now, like you saw, if you saw the beginning of the video, it was just your base M&P 15 Sport. Only real upgrade, if you want to call it, that it had on it was the Embus rear sight. So he's just now starting to step into the world of tricking out the AR. So thank you for watching the video. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, comments, please leave them in the comment section below or send me a message on Facebook. I try to check both of those regularly and get to them as soon as I can. So please continue to stay tuned. If you can, if you like the video, please leave a like. It definitely helps us out, especially with the YouTube algorithm. But I know things are getting kind of harder to do with firearms videos, at least, but we do have a lot of paintball videos out there to provide some entertainment for you guys on that front as well. So again, thank you, God bless, and have a great day.